Hello, good morning, viewers. This is Saraswati. I welcome you all in online classes of RAD Group of Schools. So, students, today I'm going to teach the topic Deep Water by William Douglas, and this is the third chapter of Flamingo text. So, today I'm going to teach assignment number third. So, already we have done assignment number 1 and 2. So, before starting this topic, we have to recapitulate from the last assignment or the previous assignment, that is what we have done in the last assignment. So, in the last one, we have discussed about experience of Douglas at YMCA pool, his philosophy regarding fear and death, his struggle with water, his acceptance for death, the consequences of hydrophobia on his mind, his determination to eradicate the fear of water. So, all these things already we have discussed in assignment number 2. So, now let's start the next assignment. This is from our text page number 28 to 29. So, yes, students, now I'll explain line to line explanation of this assignment. So, please be ready. This handicap. So, first of all, what we have to do? It means we have to do what? It means handicap. What is that handicap? Handicap is that it means that fear. It means which fear? When he was in the water. This handicap stayed with me as the years rolled by. Rolled by mean past. Past in canoes on main lakes, fishing for landlocked salmon, bass, fishing in New Hampshire, trout fishing on the Deschutes and Metolius in Oregon, fishing for salmon on the Columbia, at Bumping Lake in the Cascades. It means these are the water places, these are the water oriented places. There is the abundance of water, and which are considered the visiting place or the picnic places for the waterfront people. So whenever he visited such places, then he totally became handicapped. I totally became paralyzed because that same fear of water just only gripped him. He was not able to face that. So all these things, all these trips totally were futile or ruined for him. Whenever I went, the haunting means fearful, fear of water followed me. It ruined me, destroyed my fishing trips, deprived me to keep away from the rides, me of the joy of canoeing, boating, and swimming. I used every way I knew to overcome this fear, but it held me firmly and tightly in this grip me clutch. Finally, one October, I decided to get an instructor and learn to swim. I went to a pool and practiced 5 days a week, an hour each day. The instructor put a belt around me. So writer is saying that it means whenever he visited at any place, the same terror of the or the same fear of water, hydrophobia, that he experienced at YMCA pool always ruined all his trips, and he was not able to enjoy such kind of places. So even he totally became totally deprived, totally haunted due to just because of that fear. So all canoeing, boating, swimming, all these kind of activities were totally far away from his reach. So he decided to learn swimming, and for that he determined completely, and it was finally started. On 1st October, he decided to get an instructor and to learn swimming. First of all, he went to pool and he practiced 5 days a week and or each day. It means in a week, 5 days he was doing practice, and every day he was spending 1 hour for that. The instructor put a belt around me, and wonderful procedure was followed by instructor. And that what it was, it means instructor had a belt. It was put around his waist and a rope attached to the belt, and after that a rope was attached to the belt and went through a pulley that ran on an overhead cable. He held on to the end of the rope, and we went back and forth across the pool hour after hour, day after day, week after week. On each trip across the pool, a bit of the panic seized me. William Douglas is saying that it means whenever he was going to learn swimming, so every time the same procedure was followed by instructor, and a rope was attached with the belt and went through a pulley that ran on an overhead cable. It means it was carried by instructor himself, and he was sent in the water. And whenever he would go at the he held to the end, and the it was hauled. It means rope which was attached with the belt was carried by instructor himself, and whenever he went in the water, then each time the same fear this only this gripping him and seized him every time. Each time the instructor relaxed his hold on the rope, and he went I went under some of the all terror returned and my legs froze. It was 3 months before the tension began to slack. Then he taught me to put my face underwater and exhale and to raise my nose and inhale. I repeated the exercise hundred of times. Bit by bit I set part of the panic that seized me. When my head went underwater, next he held me at the side of the pool and had me kick with my legs. For weeks I did just. So he started the wonderful tricks of swimming. And first of all, he was taken in the water and he was taught exhale, inhale. Then, after that, splashing of the legs and all these from side, rock, and from the front, and so many other different tricks were taught by instructor to William Douglas. It means day by day he was getting perfection, and day by day he was getting the good practice, and there was improvement in him hour after hour, day after day, week after week, but the same terror that's only coming before him. At first, my legs refused to work, but they gradually relaxed, and finally, I could command them. Thus, piece by piece, he built a swimmer. Piece by piece, it means gradually. He was built a swimmer, and when he had perfected each piece, he put them together into an integrated whole. So yes, students, we know whenever we are taking any apprentice kind of person or we are teaching any procedure. So what we do in that, first of all, step by step, we teach him or her. And when every step is taught, then collectively we give an examination practice for him so that we can judge how much he has learned. The same happened with William Douglas. It means instructor taught him one by one step, and after teaching each and every step, then collectively together he taught him all the steps, and then he thought that now I should take the judgment what actually he had learned. So piece by piece he built a swimmer. Gradually he was made a swimmer, and when he had perfected each piece, he put them together into an integrated wall, and collectively all were put together, and he was left for the swimming. In April, he said, now you can swim, dive off and swim the length of the pool. Crawl stroke I did. The instructor was finished, but I was not finished. It means it was the time of April, and the instructor completed his duty and he taught me all the steps, but it was my turn. What it means to start the new thing, what all actually I had learned. It means it was my turn. It was my turn to prove myself. So instructor already had taught me whatever he knew. So it was now my turn what to be done, what to be prove myself. So, but I was finished. I still wondered it if I would be terror stricken when I was alone in the pool. I tried it. I swam the length up and down. Tiny vistas means remains, particles of the old terror would return, but now I could frown from in fearful, and say to that terror, trying to scare me, oh well, here to you. So these are the great motivational lines of William Douglas. It means this time what happens? This time actually he felt that definitely whenever fear will come before me, then I will do something. So he says that what? It means here to you. Here to you. It means now you are here and I will face you. Definitely I will face you. Trying to scare me. Oh, you are trying to scare me, creating the fear in me. Well, here you too. Look, and off I would go to for another length of the pool. This went on until July, but I was still not satisfied. It means now instructor told me to have the swim in the water so I could do, and I could complete the complete cross of the water, but still there was problem because the same terror would come before me and every time it would seize me. And this lasted till July, and but I was not satisfied. Even all the work of the instructor was finished. It was my turn to practice as well as to learn all kinds of skills, but I was not able then because the same fear was coming before me. I was not sure that all the terror had left. I went to Lake Wentworth. So students, this is wonderful part of this chapter. Means even after learning all steps, he was not satisfied that alone he could do. So just only for his self-evaluation, for his self-judgment, And for his complete assessment, he followed the very different and courageous step. What it was, then let us discuss. I was not sure that old terror had left. Still was not sure that terror had gone. So I went to Lake Wentworth in New Hampshire, dived off a dock at Triggs Islands, and swam 2 miles across the lake to Stamp Act Island. I swam the crawl, breaststroke, side stroke, and backstroke. These all are the steps of what? These all are the steps of swimming. So it means we can say that he followed all kinds of steps of swimming and he did his best. And after that, he went there and he followed alone. He was there and he followed all the steps of swimming. Only once did the terror return. Only one time it came when I was in the middle of the lake. I put my face under and saw nothing but bottomless water. The old sensation returned in miniature. Some particle, miniature means in particles form. Some substances, some particles of the fear came in front of me. I laughed and said, "Well, Mr. Terror, what do you think you can do to me?" It fled and I swam on, yet I had residual doubts. At my first opportunity, I hurried west, went to the Titon to Conrad Meadows, up the Conrad Creek Trail to Meade Glacier, and camped in the high meadow by the side of Foam Lake. So writer is saying that he went at the Lake Wentworth in New Hampshire and he dived off the year and he just only examined all his skills of swimming and he did his best. And when he was in the middle of water, once again that fear came in before him, but this time he was fearless. Even he faced boldly what it means terror. And which kind of line is hello Mr. Terror? What do you think you can do to me? It means can you frighten me this time? No. And he completed his complete swimming and he was enjoying a lot. And what he did, he fled and swam on. Yet I had residual doubts. Few doubts were there in his mind. At my first opportunity, I hurried west. In the first one, he was doing hurry, but went up to the Titan to Conrad Meadows, up the Conrad Creek till to Meadow Glacier, and crept in high meadows by the side of Warm Lake. It means he was doing the wonderful swimming later. So we can say that he was feeling a wonderful confidence at that time. The next morning, I stepped dived into the lake and swam across to the other shore and back. And the next morning, he once again went in the river and warm lake. And I stripped and dived up, and he dived in the lake and he swam across to the other shore and back. And it took the complete round from its shore to the back. It again there, just as Doc Corpron used to do. I shouted with joy and Gilbert Peak returned the echo. Just as it means the again figure of speech simile is used, just Doc Corporon was a best swimmer, so just like him, he used to do. It means whatever the steps were followed by him, he did the same. I shouted with joy. It means he shouted with joy, and the Gilbert Peak is a place returned to echo. It means when he just only cried with happiness and then just because of his sound, the Gilbert Peak echoed. I had conquered my fear. Conquered means win. He had won his fear of water. The experience had a deep meaning for me, but that experience of terror had a greater meaning in his life and as well as on his mind. As only those who have known stark terror and conquered it can appreciate. So this is very important line of this chapter. It means people those have experienced this stark terror and people those have conquered it, they can only appreciate it means praise it. They people can only appreciate it. And as Roosevelt knew when he said, all we have to fear is fear itself. This is very wonderful and the we can say wonderful lines in this paragraph that all we have fear is fear itself. Roosevelt, a very famous writer, has recommended or has quoted this wonderful line that there is nothing in the world just like a fear word. All we have to fear is fear itself. It means anybody who feels the fear in the world, they just only have the fear. For the name of fear, there is no any other shape or image of the fear in the world. They only have the fear from the fear word. Because I had experienced both the sensation of dying and the terror that fear of it can produce. Writer is saying that now I can understand because I have taken experience of both the things. I have taken experience of death as well as terror that creates the terror of death or the fear of death. So he had already experienced all these things, so he could only understand, he could only tell what actually terror is, what actually death is. So the will to live somehow grew in intensity. At last, I felt released, free to walk the trails and climb the peaks and to brush aside fear. Brush aside means remove. And finally, he became able to visit anywhere, to enjoy at any place, and he conquered over his fear of water, and he proved himself very uh, uh, just and zeal as well as courageous and enthusiastic person who proved himself with the everlasting zeal of first struggle. So we can say that in this chapter, William Douglas is sharing his personal experience of hydrophobia, and his main motive to share with readers is that he wants to create a wonderful zeal among the readers that if we decide to remove anything from our heart like fear or any kind of other sensation, then definitely we can do. Or if we decide to achieve anything in life, then we can do. And it has been taken from his particular book Man and Mountains, which defines about this hydrophobia, how he felt this hydrophobia, which kind of consequences were there on his mind, how he eradicated it, and what actually it gave him, and which philosophical ideas really made him strong, and how did he learn it. So everything is defined in this chapter. So really this is very wonderful chapter. So now we will discuss some difficult meanings of this assignment. First is haunting. It means to recur constantly, and fearful, any fear that comes constantly, and wobbly, unstable, that is not stable, and wading, walking through water. It means to take any kind of round in the water, whether in any lake, river, or anywhere for swimming. Kinos, light, narrow boards. Slack, lesion, it means to decrease. Exhale, to breath out. Inhale, to breath in. Vestiges, remains, it means remain, small particles. Miniatures at a small scale. Residual means remainder, and brush aside means to ignore, to remove, to finish. Dock, part of a port where ships got to get landed and unload. Dock is a place, and usually we see on the places where our beach or nearby the sea. So this was all and all the chapter, and I think you enjoyed a lot. And thank you and have a nice day.